Hey guys, welcome to my channel. First and foremost, have y'all seen the Jeffrey, what's his name? Jeffrey Dahmer. Have you seen that documentary? How crazy is that? Like, people are really crazy. People are out here legitimately crazy. Y'all, please be careful out there. Like, I was watching it and I'm like, that could literally happen to anybody. He seemed like this typical nice guy you meet at the club. He literally picked people up at the club. And he's a serial killer. Like, he seemed like he couldn't do anything. He seemed so innocent, so lame. Would you call him lame? But he was a serial killer. Like, you can't trust nobody. And that's one of the reasons. Don't ever take drink from anybody. Do not, unless you witness everything. You witness the pouring in, everything. Don't leave your drink or your food or anything around. Don't just leave your stuff around. Don't consume stuff that you don't know what's in it. Like, you can't trust people. You really have to protect yourself out here, people. You just have to, because it's a lot of Jeffrey Dahmers out there. It's a lot of him. This is something that's happening every day. So please just be careful out there. So, in the spirit of Halloween, spooky season, you guys. It's spooky season, guys. I've had my fair shares of paranormal activity. So, have y'all ever seen a ghost before? Well, I have personally witnessed. Well, I've personally seen a ghost. But that happened when I was like way younger. Like, I haven't seen any since that time. So here's my ghost story. I was at home in Jamaica, and that's where I grew up. So I was at home in Jamaica, and at first, when I was really young, like, my parents, they built everything from scratch. The house that my mom lives in right now, my father made that from scratch, like, with the help of us, of course. Like, I carried so much sand, so much cement, so much blocks. I carried so much material to make that house. So my daddy, he made it from scratch. Yes, he have people who come around and, you know, help. He have friends who might come and help, like on a weekend, give him a day's worth of work and so forth. But they started from scratch. We started out in a 1-bedroom board house. It was my mom, my father, my older brother, and myself. All 4 of us lived in that 1-bedroom, right? So my father, he travels and worked a lot. You know, that's where he made most of his income. And he was away working, so we were at home. My mom, my older brother, and myself were at home. And there's this thing in Jamaica, pudding is different in other countries. What y'all consider pudding is something different from us. I'll insert a picture. So how our pudding is made, the authentic way, is we'll have fire at the bottom and we'll have fire at the top. The traditional way, they did not put it in the oven. You'll have it resting on, you know, hot charcoal, and then you'll have charcoal at the top as well, so it's baking from both directions. And they typically bake it outside. I mean, you don't want to burn the house down. So my mom was outside, and my brother, all 3 of us, we were outside baking pudding. So while we were baking it, I was standing on the steps. My mom and my brother, they were tending to the pudding, of course, because you can't make the fire too hot or you'll burn it, and you can't have the fire too low or it will not bake properly. So I was young, of course, I was the baby, and I was standing on the steps. I was watching what they were doing. Then I turned my head and I looked towards the gate, right? I looked towards the gate. I look, and
oh shit! A ghost!
Something spooked me out. Like, it wasn't, I knew it was not a person, right? I knew it was not a person, but I couldn't, like, it looked like a person, but it was moving funny. It was moving real funny. It was a man but it was not walking normal. Like it was not walking like somebody would walk. It was hopping like bunny hops. It was just bunny hopping coming up in the yard, right? And I was telling my mom and my brother, I'm like, look, somebody's coming. And they couldn't see, that they could not see the person. They're like, what do you mean? We don't see anybody. And I'm like, he's coming closer. When they said they couldn't see anyone, that's when I started to figure it's a ghost. Like, yes, I was young, but I've heard so many stories. Like, one thing about Jamaicans, they're gonna tell you a good ghost story. They're gonna tell you a good duppy story, right? So, I figured when my mom and my brother, they couldn't see the man bunny hopping, coming, and I mean, it did look hard. Like, no one walks like that, really. And they couldn't see it, but I could see it. I figured it was a ghost, so I was so scared. So I started screaming. I'm like, come inside now, come inside. It's getting closer. I was so scared. They're like, there's nothing coming. They didn't believe me at first. They said there's nothing coming. I don't even know if they believe me to this day. But they were saying there's nothing coming. There is nothing coming. And I'm like, just come inside. They didn't believe. They were just finishing up what they were doing, and they were moving at their own pace. They thought I was tripping. Guys. So I was just like, I was there crying out to them, repeating myself over and over, just come inside. But the good thing is, like, our walkway to come in the yard, it's kind of long. It's really long, so it will take quite a bit of time for somebody to really get from the road, from the gate to the house, right? So the ghost was hopping. Like, I knew it was a ghost at that point. The ghost was hopping and it was getting closer. It was really, really tall. At this point, I was crying. I'm gonna have to ask my mom if she remembered that and if she did believe me. But they didn't move. They were just there tending to the pudding. And then as soon as the ghost got super close, like really, really close to them, I don't know what made them move, but they moved. They came inside and they locked the door. And then I was so happy when they locked the door. I was so scared. I'm like, come in. When it was getting super close, I was yelling at them. I was screaming. I was begging them to come inside. I was begging them. They were finally done. They come inside. They close the door. The ghost, the ghost was so close. Basically, they closed the door in the ghost face, right? And I was so scared, and I was just looking at the door. I went on the bed. I was laying down on my back, and I was looking at the door, right? I was looking at the door, and I started looking up over the, on top of the door. And then I kept looking up towards the ceiling. Right? But because of the way the house was made, because it was that the house we were living in, as I said, it was a board house, zinc roof. That's it. So there was like a little space. There was like a little gap from the outside, right? And I saw the ghost trying to look over, trying to peep through the top of the house. I was so scared. I started screaming. I'm like, Mommy, look. I started screaming like, look, see the dopey there. We call ghost dopey. So I was like, look, see the dopey there. The dopey are trying to come in. And the ghost, I think it was trying to get through the top, but the hole was really small, so it couldn't get in. And it was just there, and my mom could not see it. Nobody could see it. And then after a time, it left. I've never seen a ghost again, like awake. I've never seen a ghost again. But that was not my only paranormal activity. But I will not tell you that now. You'll have to come back for the next story. So that's my story for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment anything. It doesn't matter, it really helps. Just comment whatever, an emoji, whatever it be. Just like, comment, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.